All right, well, welcome. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We really appreciate your presence. And for those of you that are not familiar with Mitel, or you see us associated with MLB, Major League Baseball, big Braves fan. I know Nate is too, so it's always fun to see Mitel's logo up on the big screen there. But I'm with Mitel for almost 8 years now, and the cloud journey has really been exciting. When I first came on board, here I am with a voice communication company, and one of the first training that I did was with VMware. And that was really our start with cloud. It was private cloud, and we led the market. We went with VMware and said, show us how to do private cloud correctly. So we were first to market with a private cloud offering, and then we just grew from there into public cloud hosted and other cloud services. So fast forward to where we are now, a company that's been in business over 45 years. We've evolved as technology has changed, made the right investments. We are now currently #1 globally in total cloud solutions. That's both private cloud and public cloud. And we're #2 globally in UCaaS, what everyone's here to learn more about today. So we've made the right investments. We've made strategic acquisitions. We've acquired Toshiba's UC assets, ShoreTel, Astra, a whole number of competitors. And fast forward to where we are now, we have 70 million users globally, and 25 million of those are here domestically in the US. So that represents a really good opportunity for you as you're out in the market and you stumble upon a customer that has old legacy on-site phone system that's just ripe for moving to the cloud. As these customers move other data applications to the cloud, voice tends to follow suit. So all those acquisitions we made represents really good opportunity for these customers to go with you, to stick with Mitel, but in a cloud capacity. We make a big investment into research and development. We usually see about 10% of our operating budget allocated towards investing in our technology. As we've grown, we are really focused on becoming #1 in the market. So today we're #2 globally, as I mentioned earlier, in UCaaS, with that base of existing customers, and as we continue to invest in technologies and leveraging our partner community, we feel strongly that we're going to soon reach that #1 spot in total global UCaaS market share. You as a reseller, you guys are very important to us. We do not have a direct sales team, so we've invested heavily in supporting our partner community. Again, no direct sales team, no competition with Mitel directly. So we have increased our sales team. We have more than doubled the support resources that are available to you. And we've done some other back-end investments where this is a big achievement for us. Our first time we've gotten 5-star recognition for CRN for our partner program guide. So always nice to see third-party accolades on Mitel's performance in the market. Our go-to-market product today is a product, come on in, is a product called MyCloud Connect. This product can serve a customer with 5 seats all the way up to over thousands of seats. With this, we also have contact center solutions that can accommodate. So we have an embedded contact center that's more for small to medium business. We also have a new announcement of Contact Center CX, which is our partnership with TalkDesk, and I'm going to have Andrew in the back corner. He's going to speak about this product after I'm done here. But MyCloud Connect, this is our go-to-market. This, again, encompasses solutions for 5 seats to thousands. If you look at different verticals, we name the vertical, we're in it. But you see us strongly in legal, financial services. On the enterprise end of things, you often see us in retail, where it's a highly distributed customer. But name the vertical, we're in it. Healthcare tends to be more clinics than hospitals, but not to say we don't have hospitals, but a lot of clinics and doctors' offices. Not listed there is education, and we're recently seeing an uptick in business and education customers. We actually just signed in April a very large education customer in Texas that represents 25,000 MRR. So big sale, big win for us. So don't forget about those education customers that are out there. The biggest announcement of recent, right after channel partners in Vegas, was that Mitel is now provisioning MyCloud Connect in Google Cloud Platform. So we're not renting out space. We are being provisioned right there in Google, right next to all the other applications you're familiar with at Google. So Gmail, Google Maps, all that, Mitel's right there. So Google, this is such an important partnership. Google assigned 75 engineers to this project to make sure everything was delivered rock solid. So from a scalability standpoint, a security standpoint, Google has never been hacked. Knock on wood. But from a provisioning, faster to provision. If we needed more capacity in our old data centers, it would take months to build that up. Now we can do it in days instead of months. So from a customer experience, that's really the biggest value that it represents is the uptime that the customer is going to experience. Being provisioned in Google Cloud is going to make outages a thing of the past. So security and reliability, that's a big selling point on seeing MyCloud Connect provisioned in Google Cloud Platform. The other benefit is that it brings us into HIPAA and SOC 2 compliance. Immediate HIPAA and SOC 2 compliance as soon as we begin provisioning in Google Cloud Platform. So all new customers are provisioned there. Any existing customers you may have with Mitel today, they'll be moved over into the Google platform by the end of the year or early Q1. So differentiators with Mitel as you look at us compared to other providers in the market. This is end-to-end Mitel with the solution. So we design and manufacture our own phones. It's our software that's in the cloud. We're a CLEC in all 50 states. So customers, it really resonates with them when they hear that it's one throat to hug or one throat to choke, however you want to position it. But it's all Mitel. If there is an issue, there's no finger pointing. Well, maybe it's the phone manufacturer. Maybe it's the software. Nope, it's all Mitel end to end. It's on us. So we take a lot of pride and, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of investment in delivering the best in class phones and solutions. We also feel we're very competitive when we put a solution together. We can mix and match profiles. So there are some providers that say the highest common denominator of profile type, everyone has to have it, and it makes the solution very expensive. For us, we can mix and match and figure out, all right, lobby phones have cheap, very basic usage, all the way up to an executive or a contact center profile. They're going to get the most feature functionality. So we can understand the customer's needs, the user needs, and apply the appropriate profile to our configuration and proposal for the customer. As I mentioned, we're 100% channel focused, rely very heavily on our partner community. You will never compete with Mitel with a direct sales team. We talked about migration path for legacy installed base. Again, all those on-site customers that Mitel now owns, they're Mitel customers. They represents a big opportunity for you to upgrade them and get them to the cloud. And then our biggest announcement in terms of contact center is that partnership with TalkDesk that represents Connect CX contact center as a service. With our solutions, we can provide a total complete offering to the customer. The phones, desktop collaboration, mobile applications for collaboration, team working applications. Anything a customer may need to have the best communication and collaboration platform. We've got all the tools, the hardware and the software to help the customer get the solution that they need. Now, as you work with Mitel, as an opportunity comes up, we have a quick and easy registration portal for you guys. It takes 2 minutes to load your information, TCG's, it's dedicated to TCG. Put in your contact information, customer information, and from there we have it routed to an inside sales rep that can work with you on opportunities. Those inside sales reps, they work on deals from 5 to about 100 seats. And when you register those opportunities, they're not going to go straight to the customer. They're going to reach out to you first and say, hey, let's talk about your customer. Let's talk about the opportunity. How do we proceed? Do you want me to take a back seat? Do you want me to drive? Do we want to work together? But insurance is that those inside sales reps will work with you at the speed in which you want to proceed. We also have regional agent channel managers. Our Florida representative is here today, Soki Carroll. She's here for lots of enthusiasm from Soki. So Soki, she's the Florida agent channel manager. She's going to work with you on, and maybe your TCG channel manager as well, on education, on enablement, anything. She's kind of your go-to on your manager to help point you in the right direction if you ever need guidance on what to do next. As you encounter larger opportunities, those enterprise deals, 100 to 250 or 250 or greater. The 100 to 250 will have a territory manager and the inside rep maybe working hand in hand. 250 or greater, we're going to have the territory manager work with you. So Ed Kane, our Florida manager, is here today. And again, he's going to work with you on your enterprise level deals. So we've got great resources as you find your Mitel opportunities. A lot of folks here that are here to support you guys, make sure you're successful moving forward. One of the most important components of our go-to-market and that investment, as I mentioned, in Google platform, that customer experience is really, that's going to make or break all the players that are in the market today. Mitel recognizes that, and we have invested heavily in making sure the customer experience is best in class. So again, Google platform, making sure it's highly secure, reliable, scalable, we can provision quickly, highly reduce or eliminate outages. But also, once that contract's signed, we've invested in resources to help from an activation, from a provisioning standpoint. And then also, once the customer's up and running, have someone that can check in with them, making sure the customer, are you using the applications you purchased? If not, why not? Do you need more education? When it's time for contract renewals, they'll be reaching out and helping them, working with the customer to renew, so you keep getting paid, keep seeing your commission on that sale you initially made. So end-to-end, investing in that customer experience is a big initiative at Mitel. Another thing we're doing is data mining of that installed base and understanding. Right now we're more in a reactive mode, starting to progress into a proactive mode. And next phase of that will be using information to be in a predictive mode where we are reacting before the customer even knows they have an issue. So more and more to come on the investments Mitel is making in that customer experience. I talked about some verticals that Mitel sells in today. Name the vertical, again, we're in it. Here's some just bigger name recognition. Coca-Cola, Wells Fargo, Major League Baseball. Those that are big baseball fans, you'll see the London series coming up. I think it's the Yankees and the Red Sox playing in London. You're going to see Mitel, lots of advertising there associated with it. Once you have your customer, working with them on the solution, you have a couple options on implementation. Implementation is pretty easy. The customer can do it themselves if they feel comfortable. We also have options if they prefer Mitel to step in and take more ownership of that implementation process. The portal for use is very user-friendly. It's a great way to manage your system, make changes, pulling reports from billing purposes. Everything the customer needs is right there, easy to use in the portal. Going more into the importance of our agent community, we just launched beginning of the year this mitel.com/agents, and that's a resource for you guys. Say Soki's busy with a meeting, or hey, I just want to kind of peruse and find things on my own. We have this URL set up. It has everything in there of what the current quarter programs and spiffs are that are available. And TCG is great. They pass through 100% of all those spiffs over to their agent. They don't take any of that money. So kudos to TCG for passing that through. You can find information on the product, on programs, maybe some quick collateral you need before you go out to see a customer. Everything you need is right there at that URL. So if you need more information, ask Soki, or if you need the URL, ask her after, if you don't have time to write it down, we'll be glad to get that information over to you. Again, the fast track program of where you're going to register your opportunity. This is dedicated to TCG. Once you log in there, quick drop down, populate some few quick questions, and you're off and running. So, speaking of registrations, as we talked about Mitel, if anyone has an opportunity that comes to mind that, hey, I'm ready to get going, I want to work with Mitel, if you register your opportunity today, I've got a $25 Visa card for you as a thank you, but has to be registered today. So Q2 is rapidly coming to a close. We all feel the busyness and pressure of Q2, but every quarter, our programs, our spiffs, promotions, they change, but I thought it'd be helpful for you guys to see what some of those current ones. So we did have a new agent bonus, a $500 bonus if this is your first time selling a Mitel product. We also have a spiff in place. Again, that pass-through, 100% pass-through from TCG. 3 times MRR when you're selling MyCloud Connect, and adding on an additional 1x MRR for if you have 50 users or greater. We also have some programs in place. As I mentioned, we made those acquisitions of ShoreTel in the past, Toshiba's UC Assets. At the top there, that's some product terminology of both of those legacy providers. We've got some programs in place, credits associated with moving them over off of their legacy on-site system over to a cloud-based solution. And you're not limited to that. The ISR will work with you to figure out which promo is best, where the customer will get the most bang for the buck, if you will. We also had contract buyout incentive in place. Sometimes customers, they made a mistake. They went with a solution that really isn't the right fit for them, or they're experiencing a lot of outages, and they're like, oh, if I wasn't in this contract, I would love to get over to Mitel. We have a contract buyout offer in place to help those customers get out of that little mistake that they made. As you get to know Mitel, maybe you want to take more ownership in knowing the product. Maybe you want to have a demo phone on hand, so when you go to a customer site, you can easily show them all the great things about the product. We have a heavily discounted program in place for you to get your own demo solution to have for yourself. Highly recommend that if you're really going to be selling a lot of UCaaS. And again, did I mention an incentive? $25 gift card for registering an opportunity today. So that's it. Quick Mitel. I think I'm right on track with time. So Andrew, I think you're next to talk about our CX product.
As Laura mentioned, my name is Andrew Walsh. I'm the enterprise account executive for the MyCloud Connect CX offering. I'm based right here in Fort Lauderdale, and basically what the enterprise is for us is any accounts that you're working with that have 350 employees or more, or 125 contact center seats or more, would fall into the enterprise, and then anything below that would fall into commercial. And the South Florida market for me personally is anywhere from Fort Pierce to Fort Myers South, including Puerto Rico. And outside of that, if you guys are working national accounts headquartered outside of that region, we have coverage for you as well. Just to set the stage on MyCloud Connect CX, it's powered by TalkDesk, as Laura mentioned. And it's a strategic partnership that TalkDesk and Mitel formed because we both do things the other one doesn't, right? So we're the contact center provider for the cloud, and Mitel's the UC provider. I think the role for us in supporting you guys is really to be the subject matter experts for contact center, and really work with you throughout the entire sales process. So through the discovery process, all through the implementation, we'll be there to support you and really be the lead for you. Excuse me. Just wanted to sort of set the stage for the contact center landscape for you guys. I don't know if you guys are working contact center deals today, but really the market is ripe for the picking for cloud. We have the legacy premise-based providers out there like Avaya, Cisco, and that's really the majority of the market. The majority of the market sits on this legacy technology. There's a lot of issues as we move forward with these types of solutions where there's not a whole lot of innovation happening, right? They're expensive to maintain, difficult to integrate to other business applications. And when we look at the market overall, there's really these three, I'll call them deployment models. Legacy, and then first gen cloud are companies like NICE inContact, Five9, and there's a lot of issues with this deployment model as well. So, they've been around a little bit longer, but they're built on sort of legacy architecture. So the first gen cloud architecture is what we call a kind of a multi-tenant server cluster architecture. And think of it as an East Coast and a West Coast point-to-point, in some cases a manual failover. Their post-sales experience from an end user perspective are challenging. Very few integrations to other business applications, like a CRM system. And if there are integrations, they will charge for those. And it's a longer deployment cycle. And then you have the third deployment option, which is really what TalkDesk and MyCloud CX is, which is the cloud native or the cloud 2.0 deployment option. And what we like to say is that we have an unfair advantage because we're born in the cloud. So we're built on Amazon Web Services infrastructure. The architecture is what we call microservices. So incredibly redundant and reliable, endlessly scalable. We can scale globally, super fast to deploy. I'll talk about that in a second. And really focused on providing your customers and your prospects with an advantage to make customer experience their competitive advantage. So those are the three deployment models. And as we kind of look at some of what the analysts are saying in terms of contact center, Gartner just last year announced that on-premise contact center Magic Quadrant is retiring. They're not doing this anymore. So that was last year. So that's a pretty good indicator that the on-prem legacy technology is sunsetting. And Gartner made this quote recently as well, basically saying that there's no more growth in the premise market for contact center, and that enterprises are dramatically shifting to cloud-based UC as well as contact center because these premise-based solutions have reached their full maturity. So they're not only not doing the on-premise Gartner Magic Quadrant, but they're making these comments out in the market. And just this year, Gartner also said that by 2022, contact center as a service will be the preferred adoption model in 50% of contact centers with more than 750 agents, which is up from approximately 10% today. So there's a huge opportunity in the next, I'll say, 2 or 3 years where companies are actively looking to replace that legacy technology with a cloud provider. And this is just to hammer it home. So really, just look at this far right graph. In terms of end customers that are in the market, 88%, maybe a little bit under because it's from 2017, but in the 80% of enterprises globally are sitting on legacy technology that they're actively looking to replace with cloud solutions. So that's a huge market opportunity, I think, for everybody in this room. And so again, these are the 3 deployment models I just mentioned, right? So you have the premise, first gen cloud, think of a 5.9, an in-contact, and then the second gen cloud, or the cloud native, which is us. And really when you're engaging with your prospects or your customers, I want you to think about some key points, right? So as your customers are evaluating replacing maybe their Avaya system or their Cisco contact center, and they're looking at a first-gen cloud provider, some key points to remember is, slower to innovate, right? Globally inadequate, not scalable globally. A lot of issues with living up to the cloud promise. And they're also, what they're doing is they're trying to move their solution to what we have already as a microservices-based AWS infrastructure. So think of it as, you're living in the house while you're renovating it, right? And there's some issues with that, which is supporting multiple deployment models. So support is an issue as well. So when you're working with these types of customers, we kind of really want you to just see if you can get them to skip the first gen providers at all, hammer those points home, and move right to the future and where the future is headed, which is the cloud native solutions, like a MyCloud CX. And then this is just a little bit about kind of where TalkDesk is at in the market. So we're a younger player. If you guys aren't familiar with TalkDesk, I'm happy to share more after this with who we are and how we're coming to market. Gartner has us as the fastest and youngest contact center provider to make the Magic Quadrant. We're in the Visionaries category. And Frost & Sullivan has us as the fastest growing contact center in the market. So we went from 0 to 1,500 customers in just 4.5 years. I won't go through all these points, but a tremendous amount of growth is happening and a tremendous amount of momentum with Mitel as we form this partnership. And we just want you guys to be, not leaving opportunities on the table for contact center, because I think there's a lot of dollars out there for you guys to capture. What's also really cool is what customers are saying about us. So on the Salesforce App Exchange, we are rated at 4.5 stars. And then what's really cool is something called G2 Crowd. If anybody's familiar with G2 Crowd, it's a portal, if you will, for end users to rate different technology solutions. So in terms of the contact center infrastructure, TalkDesk, you can see at the top right, is by far the highest rated contact center solution in the G2 Crowd portfolio. We have over 526 reviews. Our next closest competitor has about 100 reviews. And again, these are end users that are going out of their way to take the time to review and give feedback on these solutions. So I think that's a really cool thing, and we show our prospects this information a lot, and it resonates. So high level, MyCloud Connect CX. Really our mantra is that we're an enterprise cloud contact center as a service that empowers companies, like I said earlier, to make customer experience their competitive advantage. We have artificial intelligence is infused throughout the platform. It's super easy to set up. It's seamlessly connected with multiple out-of-the-box integrations. And then adaptable and enterprise class, like I said, endlessly scalable as well, based on our infrastructure. From a very high level, we got you covered from a contact center perspective. Everything from the basic ACD IVR through, omni-channel, things like chat, co-browse, video chat, social messaging apps, chatbot builder, mobile apps, and then analytics are really where we also separate ourselves from a live perspective, live reporting, as well as a historical perspective, and then the voice analytics piece is huge as well. And I mentioned earlier integration, so we have over 40 out-of-the-box integrations with different business applications. So if you have customers that are using Salesforce, Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics, Zendesk, the list is pretty extensive. We will not charge anything for those integrations, and they're literally out of the box, clicking to integrate. It's a very key differentiator for TalkDesk, for MyCloud CX. A lot of our competitors, actually all of our competitors, will charge for those types of integrations, and customers, do require those types of integrations in many cases. We also have an App Connect, which is the first of its kind in contact center. So if you're familiar with Salesforce, Salesforce has the App Exchange where you can go in and you can try different apps through Salesforce. We have the same thing through TalkDesk, and so things like workforce management, we can deliver to customers via our App Connect. It's very simple. And then just from an omni-channel perspective, again, we have a lot of different things that we can bring into the contact center. We can bring in third-party messaging apps, things like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, WeChat, you name it. There's like 27 different social messaging apps that we can bring in there. And then also things like social monitoring and listening. So within the contact center, if there's mentions in Twitter or out in the social sphere, we can bring those channels into the contact center under one platform. And then I mentioned that the artificial intelligence being infused throughout the platform. An example of this is recently we released a feature called Agent Assist. And what Agent Assist is doing is that it's listening in real time to conversations between agents and customers and offering up content that is relevant to that conversation. So think of you're having a conversation as an agent with a customer. Agent Assist can offer a potential script offering or suggested knowledge-based article based on the conversation itself in real time. I think that's really cool. It's something that nobody else is doing. That's an example of how we're leveraging artificial intelligence throughout the platform. And then I mentioned this earlier. This is just a snapshot of where we're deployed and how we're deployed. So again, we're running in 9 AWS data center regions globally. Within each of those regions, there's 8 or 9 physical data centers. So in terms of redundancy, resiliency, I always say if there's an outage, that means AWS is down, and we probably have bigger problems than a contact center outage in the world. We're also backed up on Google Cloud as well, so we got you covered from a resiliency and redundancy perspective. We also have the highest, if you guys are familiar with MOS scores, which is voice quality scores. In the US, we average 4.36 out of a max of 4.4, which is about 3 points higher than LTE coverage. So we got you covered from a quality perspective, from a voice quality perspective too. And then I mentioned earlier that our deployment timeframes are I've never seen anything like it. I've worked for a lot of companies before, and the fact that we're able to get a customer up and running in as little as 2 weeks, we average about 4 to 6 weeks from basic discovery through implementation. We'll really move as fast as the customer is willing to move. And again, this is just another key differentiator between us and our first-gen cloud competitors. So that's all I had for today. If you guys want to do any more deep dive on TalkDesk and MyCloud CX, we're happy to set up one-on-one demos and get you guys more familiar with the product itself. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.